Hello, everyone. Welcome back to part 2 of Human Values and Ethics. Today, we'll delve into crucial concepts that shape ethical decision-making in professional settings. A fascinating aspect of human behavior is self-control. Think of self-control as your inner superhero that helps you make better choices. It's that powerful force that stops you from making impulsive decisions when faced with temptations. In the professional world, self-control is crucial, especially when facing ethical dilemmas. Research shows that self-control is like a muscle. The more you exercise it, the stronger it gets. When we talk about moral responsibility and rational decision-making, self-control becomes your best ally in maintaining professional integrity. Let's explore why self-control is vital in ethical decision-making. Consider self-control as your ethical compass in challenging situations. It's fascinating how this single trait can influence moral responsibility, rational decision-making, and professional integrity. Through real-world examples, we can see how self-control helps professionals maintain ethical standards, especially in tempting situations. For instance, when an engineer chooses to maintain safety standards despite pressure to cut corners, that's self-control in action. Remember, every time you exercise self-control in professional settings, you're strengthening your ethical foundation. Imagine self-interest as one side of a scale, with societal welfare on the other. In ethics, we often find ourselves balancing these competing interests. You'll discover how self-interest isn't inherently negative, but its impact depends on how we manage it. This concept becomes particularly relevant in professional decision-making, where personal benefits might conflict with ethical duties. Understanding self-interest helps us make more balanced and ethically sound decisions. Moving deeper into self-interest, we encounter its fascinating relationship with altruism and ethical theories. Think about how different ethical frameworks view self-interest, from egoism's complete embrace to utilitarianism's balanced approach. We'll explore real scenarios where professionals navigate between personal benefits and collective welfare. This understanding becomes crucial in your future career decisions. Remember, recognizing the role of self-interest in ethical theories helps you make more informed choices when facing moral dilemmas. Think of customs as society's invisible rulebook. They shape our behavior in fascinating ways. These unwritten rules significantly influence what different cultures consider right or wrong. In professional settings, understanding customs becomes crucial for ethical decision-making. Here's what makes this interesting. Customs can either support or conflict with universal ethical principles. As future professionals, you'll need to navigate between respecting cultural norms and maintaining ethical standards. Sometimes, established practices clash with emerging ethical standards. Think about how environmental awareness has challenged traditional industrial practices. What makes this particularly fascinating is how professionals must sometimes choose between following customs and implementing positive change. Understanding these challenges helps you become more effective in global professional environments. Remember, being aware of customs helps you navigate complex ethical situations while respecting cultural differences. Religious beliefs have historically been powerful influences on moral decision-making. Think about how different faiths provide moral guidelines that influence professional behavior. What's particularly interesting is how religious principles often align across different faiths when it comes to basic ethical values. In our diverse professional world, understanding religious perspectives helps create more inclusive and ethically sound workplaces. Continuing our discussion on religion, let's examine how religious beliefs can create moral dilemmas in professional settings. Consider scenarios where religious convictions intersect with professional obligations. This becomes particularly challenging in fields like healthcare or engineering. Understanding these dynamics is crucial for working effectively in our multicultural world. The key is finding ways to respect religious beliefs while maintaining professional standards and ethical conduct. Let's explore self-respect, a fundamental component of ethical behavior. Think of self-respect as your internal ethical compass. When you value yourself, you're more likely to maintain high ethical standards. In professional settings, self-respect becomes your shield against compromising situations. Here's a powerful insight. Professionals with strong self-respect often make better ethical decisions because they value their integrity more than temporary gains. Understanding the role of self-respect in ethical decision-making will help you maintain professional integrity throughout your career. It's fascinating to see how self-respect directly influences ethical decision-making in the workplace. When professionals have strong self-respect, they're more likely to maintain ethical standards, even under pressure. Consider how self-respect acts as a protective barrier against unethical practices like accepting bribes or cutting corners. What's particularly interesting is that self-respect often leads to better long-term career outcomes. Through real examples, we'll see how professionals who maintain their standards through self-respect build stronger, more respected careers. Let's dive into an exciting bridge construction case study that brilliantly illustrates ethical decision-making. Imagine being an engineer faced with choosing between cheaper materials and safer ones. This real-world scenario showcases how different ethical frameworks lead to varying decisions. What makes this particularly fascinating is seeing how cost, safety, and timeline considerations create complex ethical challenges. By examining this case through different theoretical lenses, you'll better understand how ethical theories apply to real engineering decisions. Let's explore the different ethical approaches to our bridge construction dilemma. Through deontological ethics and virtue ethics, we see how character and duty influence decision-making. What's remarkable is how each ethical framework provides unique insights into the same problem. This case study brilliantly demonstrates why understanding multiple ethical perspectives is crucial for professional decision-making. Remember, in real-world situations, combining different ethical approaches often leads to the most balanced decisions. The key takeaway is learning to evaluate complex situations from multiple ethical viewpoints. Welcome to one of the most exciting aspects of engineering, the experimental nature of our field. Think of engineers as pioneers, constantly pushing boundaries while ensuring safety and reliability. What makes this particularly fascinating is that engineering experiments have real-world implications, unlike laboratory experiments. Here's an intriguing perspective. Every major innovation started as an engineering experiment. Understanding this experimental nature helps us appreciate the responsibility that comes with innovation. The most exciting part is realizing that you're part of this ongoing process of discovery and improvement. From innovation and testing to learning from failures, these aspects shape how we approach engineering challenges. What's particularly exciting is how each project becomes a carefully controlled experiment with real-world implications. Think about how risk assessment in engineering differs from pure scientific experimentation. The fascinating part is balancing innovation with safety considerations. Understanding these key aspects helps you become a more effective and responsible engineer. Engineers are responsible for ensuring that their experiments, designs, and prototypes do not endanger public safety. Ethical experimentation requires transparency, accountability, and a commitment to minimizing harm while pushing the boundaries of innovation. Engineers are not just creators, but also responsible experimenters who must ensure the safety, reliability, and ethical implications of their work. They are responsible for making sure that their innovations do not harm people, the environment, or society. Let's examine the comprehensive responsibilities that come with being an engineering experimenter. Your role extends far beyond technical expertise. You're a guardian of public safety and welfare. What's particularly interesting is how these responsibilities shape every aspect of engineering work. From ensuring transparency to maintaining professional integrity, each aspect is crucial. Through real-world examples, we'll see how these responsibilities play out in actual engineering projects. Understanding these responsibilities helps you become not just a good engineer, but an ethical innovator. The world of engineering ethics codes, your professional moral compass. These codes aren't just rules, they're the distilled wisdom from generations of engineering experience. What makes them fascinating is how they evolved from real-world successes and failures. Think of these codes as your ethical toolkit for navigating complex professional situations. The interesting part is how they balance public safety with professional integrity. Understanding these codes is crucial because they guide your decision-making throughout your engineering career. Let's explore real-world applications of engineering ethics codes through the NSB guidelines. These principles showcase how ethical codes translate into practical actions. What's particularly interesting is seeing how these guidelines address common ethical dilemmas. Through specific examples, you'll understand how to apply these principles in your work. The fascinating part is how these codes evolve to address new challenges in engineering. Remember, these aren't just guidelines, they're your framework for ethical decision-making. Industrial standards, the backbone of safe and reliable engineering. These standards are like the DNA of good engineering practice, ensuring consistency and safety across projects. What makes them fascinating is their evolution alongside technological advancement. Through different types of standards from safety to environmental, we'll see how they shape engineering practice. The interesting part is how these standards vary globally while maintaining core safety principles. Understanding these standards gives you a powerful advantage in your engineering career. Let's explore the diverse world of industrial standards that guide engineering practice. From safety standards to quality benchmarks, each type serves a specific purpose. What's fascinating is how these standards work together to create a comprehensive framework for engineering excellence. Consider how environmental standards have evolved to address growing sustainability concerns. The most interesting aspect is how performance standards ensure reliability across different conditions. Understanding these different types of standards is crucial because they'll guide your future engineering decisions and innovations. Think of legal requirements as the foundation, but ethical considerations often demand we build much higher. What's particularly interesting is how ethical standards frequently exceed legal minimums. Through real-world examples, we'll see why following just the law isn't always enough for ethical engineering practice. The fascinating part is understanding how moral responsibility extends beyond legal compliance. Remember, as future engineers, your ethical obligations often go further than what the law requires. Let's dive into one of engineering's most significant lessons, the Challenger disaster of 1986. This tragic event revolutionized how we think about engineering ethics and responsibility. What makes this case particularly compelling is seeing how organizational pressure and communication failures led to catastrophic consequences. The fascinating, though sobering, aspect is how a series of seemingly small ethical compromises resulted in a major disaster. Understanding this case is crucial because it demonstrates the real-world importance of ethical decision-making in engineering. Now, let's examine the critical ethical issues that emerged from the Challenger disaster. The pressure to launch despite engineering concerns raises fascinating questions about professional responsibility. What's particularly interesting is analyzing how different levels of decision-making contributed to the tragedy. Through this case, we see the crucial importance of standing firm on safety concerns. The most powerful lesson here is understanding how organizational culture can either support or undermine ethical engineering practice. These insights remain incredibly relevant for modern engineering challenges. Let's explore the vital lessons learned from the Challenger tragedy that transformed engineering ethics. These lessons continue to shape modern engineering practice in fascinating ways. What's particularly compelling is how this disaster led to fundamental changes in safety protocols and ethical guidelines. Through examining the aftermath, we see how engineering responsibility evolved. The most important takeaway is understanding how transparency and accountability became cornerstones of ethical engineering. These lessons serve as powerful reminders of why ethical considerations must always come first. Thank you for joining us for this video. Please like the video and keep supporting us. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and share it with your friends. Happy learning! See you in the next video with other exciting topic.